Google and ChatGPT AIs do not just change how your website and business is found, it changes how your website will be used.
It's not just about fancy visuals or homepage sliders anymore. So in today's episode, we'll be breaking down how Google's AI mode, OpenAI's ChatGPT, and other AI agents are rewriting the rules of web design and what your site needs to survive in this new era.
Welcome to the Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses, where we provide local businesses in the UK with practical marketing advice to help them grow. I'm Adam, founder of Website Designers London, one of the UK's top 1% online marketing agencies, helping businesses generate tens of millions of pounds.
And my name's Josh. I'm the founder of ImproveMySearchRanking.com, a specialist SEO agency based in South London. We've helped more than 400 businesses generate over £200 million in sales.
Every episode, we break down the marketing strategies and trends to help you stay ahead of your competition. And today, we're going to be telling you about how you can improve your website for AI.
We'll be running through the shift from human-only to AI-first web design, how to design your website for AI agents and zero-click interfaces, why web pages are dead and passages are now everything, how the metrics you use to track your website's performance are going to change, and finally, the design adjustments you can make right now to help you appear in AI.
Fantastic. So let's get straight into it. Firstly, the shift from human-only to AI-first design. Previously, humans would go and visit your website and go through and get a lead. Now, people search using AI, and therefore the website will be suggested through AI, and that's how you get your lead. So, firstly, understanding that traditional web design focused on visual appeal and navigation for human users. Now, AI introduces a second audience, not just Google's AI and other AI agents like ChatGPT, but your website now needs to make sense not just to people, but to machines who are passing through the data, through the context and content structure of your website.
So we need to think about designing our websites nowadays for AI agents and the zero-click interface that ChatGPT and AI mode and Google will offer. So this is the first step towards a world where AI agents will actually take actions for users. So at the moment, you do a search in ChatGPT, you get a response and a nice summary of whatever your question was. The next step will be that these AI will work as like an agent on your behalf. This means users aren't going to visit your site. It's going to be AI, and your website needs to be able to talk to the AI in a variety of ways. So one such way would be ensuring your website, or the AI agent will basically check to see if you have availability. So an example might be if you're looking for an oven cleaner, you might ask your AI agent, find me 3 oven cleaners based in my location who have availability tomorrow. The AI agent will then look at the website, look at the availability API or calendar that website design will need to have in the future, and work out, does that business have availability for tomorrow? Do they cover that area? It may then look at pricing and then suggest to the user of the AI, here's 3 options, here's their pricing, here's their reviews, here's the book now button, and then the AI agent could book directly.
Ultimately, it's about thinking about the whole process rather than just the lead. So in this scenario, and we'll talk about AI agents a little more in the future episodes, but what this is doing is this AI platform, the AI agent, is not only finding the appropriate business or service that the user is looking for, but it's doing the whole process of completing the sale, not just finding the lead. So again, another example, you're a baker, my favourite industry. You're a baker, you offer cake making for weddings. The AI agent will scrape your website to find, is this person available to make a website for a wedding on the 13th of June 2028? How much do they charge? Well, their pricing ranges from between £300 and £3,000 depending on the requirements. I'd like to send an inquiry to the baker with my design, and I can tell you what the design is, and get a bespoke price, or alternatively book the date and get a bespoke price. The AI will do that from start to finish. And, you know, Josh, you mentioned there about the availability, funding availability, and you talked about calendars. Your website will ideally, and I know this isn't easy for all scenarios and isn't applicable for all services, so if you're an accountant or a solicitor, availability doesn't tend to be a thing unless someone wants to book in a quote-unquote discovery call with you or inquire, right? So, but you can do other things like, you know, you can show your pricing. Again, that might not be the thing that you want to do. If you're selling a high-end luxury item, you might not want to display your price, but there are other things. So having some sort of clear service description, frequently asked questions, contact actions, so people and the AI, not people, the AI can clearly understand what you're offering, what your value offering is.
Exactly.
So third point, pages are dead and passages are everything. This word passages, or chunks of text, paragraphs if you like, the AI essentially measures and compares these chunks of text, these passages, and compares them against your competitors. So basically this means that every paragraph needs to stand alone with value, needs to have clear headings, short sections, structured answers. Think of your website more of a library of modular answers rather than a kind of a one-page pitch. And I would recommend our previous episode on more tips on how to rank in AI. This episode is really talking about your website and design of your website.
Yeah, exactly. So moving on to the next point, web design or websites today, there's certain metrics you use to track the performance of them. So how many visitors have you got? How many leads has the website generated? And that can all be found in softwares like Google Analytics. Things like bounce rates, page views, but these kind of things are going to become outdated or not so useful going forward. So with AI agents, what we may need to be looking at, this is kind of predicting the future. We don't know for certain how this will exactly work, but Google may release a new tool that shows you how many times your website was cited in an AI mode search. We might another thing to consider is these new kind of software as a service businesses coming out. So there's for example in the SEO world, there's something called SEMrush and Moz and Ahrefs, and these tools all help you track certain metrics to do with your website and your SEO performance. There's a new one that's just come out that's all around AI tracking. That's called Profound, or tryprofound.com. So I would recommend taking a look at that and maybe booking a call in with them to see how their software can help you track. And
just it's a plug, but we don't get paid for it. But try Profound. Feel free to reach out and we can strike a deal. Yeah. So look, the next one there. So design adjustments you can make now. So use headings that mimic real search queries. So how much does an oven cleaning cost in London? For example, how much does a 3-tiered wedding cake cost for Epping? In Epping, sorry. Embrace what they call structured data. So that is essentially things like frequently asked questions, booking schema, and for more information on what schema is, which is essentially a description of an item, an image, web page, schema.org, schema.org, to find the right structured data for your website. So make sure all essential information is in text, not hidden in images or tabs or anything like that, and focus on clarity, extractability, so how easy can the AI read the information, and machine friendliness, so not just aesthetics. Again, listen back at the previous episode to learn more ways to get featured in artificial intelligence.
So in summary, web design isn't just about being beautiful anymore. It's about being functional. It's about being readable for AI machines and AI agents. some of the top things I think from this episode would be to consider ensuring you have a booking system on your website, a calendar system, visible pricing, clear service descriptions, so the AI agents can feed back to their human masters what the information they want.
Perfect. So we talked about the shift from human only to AI first design. Second, you talked about the designing for AI agents and the zero-click interface. Are you doing everything in AI? Talked about passages and structured data. Structured content is everything. Pages, not so much aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't really matter there. Metrics as well. How you're viewed is changing. And lastly, how design adjustments you can make now and quick tips for you to make. So look, that's it for today's episode of the Marketing Podcast for Local Businesses. If you are working on a website refresh or planning a new build, do make sure it's ready for AI. Feel free to reach out to us. We can absolutely help you as well. It's all about being actionable and having your website being actionable. So hit follow. Please leave us a great review and we'll see you next time. My name's been Adam.
I'm Josh.